Well, it's Friday. As you know, it's the day before the weekend starts, which is one of the most fun and important days starting that. But today's episode, we're going to be, of course, reviewing GLEAT's much recent show, G Pro Wrestling version 69. We have some very impressive matches taking place. However, both Bulk Orchestra and Strong Hearts just gained new members. However, this is the momentum where we see will Bulk Orchestra and Strong Hearts prove once again as the original factions within GLEAT are still strong? Well, that's a good question to see about. Then we move on with AEW Rampage with some very interesting matches. We have, of course, the guys from CMLL taking on some of the guys from AEW, Daddy Magic and Cool Hand, and of course, Seidel and Daniels. We have, of course, Queen Aminata taking on Willow Nightingale. That's going to be a really good match to watch, and plenty other things taking place as well. Then we move on to see who's going to level up on this latest episode of NXT Level Up. Then we cap it up with our news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what the promotions are putting out for what events, who's booked, what matches are set, and of course developments that's been happening in the world of pro wrestling. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay right here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also do more news updates. If I'm unable to put it on this episode, I can put it on a separate video by itself. We also do Nagi Sayaka Watch, more news updates in real time, and various other things as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and various other cool stuff on this channel as well. And if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, let's begin with our very first review coming out of Japan. This is their much recent show on a Friday. This is GLEAT G Pro Wrestling 69. So basically, this one was at Shinjuku Face. Now, it opened up with Bulk Orchestra doing the little promo. Now, I don't know what the hell are they saying in Japanese, but you can tell the Bulk Orchestra are now back on top for one specific reason, or should I say two. First one, as you know, Hayato Tamura is the brand new G-Rex champion. He recently defeated a T-Hawk for the belt, but however, apparently it became a much special day because Bulk Orchestra even inducted a brand new member into their faction, and his name is Daimonji So. Now, I have seen him before, but in other promotions. Normally, you can say he's a freelancer, but he seems like he fits perfectly. However, as you know, they're longtime rivals, the OGs, Stronghearts, El Lindaman, Yamamura, Shima, T-Hawk, they all showed up to rain on their parade because they just introduced their newest member, and I was surprised who that was. If you guys don't know who it is, I'll tell you. It's Seiki Yoshioka. If you guys don't know him, remember him. He used to be one of the most fantastic junior heavyweight champions in Pro Wrestling Noah. Recently, as you know, he left Noah in October. Said that he has plans to change. Now, I don't know exactly what he meant. I was presumably thinking he was going to switch from to be, go from weight class from junior heavyweight to heavyweight. That is something I thought. But now that he is in GLEAT and he's just been introduced as the newest member of Strong Hearts, I have to say this is going to be awesome. So let's begin with our very first match on this one. Our first match, we have a set of 6-man tag team match. We have Kaz Hayashi, Michiko, and what's his name? Oh yeah, Tomoaki Hamna. That's right. Or as Kevin Kelly used to say, "Hey, look, it's Hamna." That's right. They face off against JD Lee, Yuya Zuzuma, and Soma Watanabe. Now, no storyline has been made. Now, if you guys know this, Michiko is the only female in this match. So I have to say that was going to be rather interesting. However, in the end, it was Kaz Hayashi who picked up the win when he pinned JD Lee. So that's a pretty impressive win, as you know, building a momentum for their G Infinity tag match that he has with Shima. However, he did a promo right after the match where he talked. I don't know what he's saying, but I'm sure that he's very understanding that even though this could be his last time being around, we will see what happens from here on out. Now, our next match, we have a singles action. We have Jun Tonsho versus Seigyo Tachibana. Now, if you guys remember Tachibana, I mentioned him on All Japan Pro Wrestling. He made his recent appearance there, and of course, Tonsho attacked him immediately. So basically, he knows the kind of man he is. Now, all of a sudden, Tonsho had this match nearly won, but however, Tachibana shoved Tonsho towards the referee. Referee had his back turned. He did not witness that Tachibana actually low blowed him, then applied the schoolboy 1, 2, 3. But at the post match, he in fact was gloating at Jun Tonsho for what just transpired. But all of a sudden, he was attacked from behind by a guy who does not like him, and that is, of course, Soma Watanabe. Now, Soma Watanabe and Jun Tonsho used to be are rivals, but they do have one thing in common. They don't like Tachibana. You know what Tachibana was doing after he was attacked? Ikemen! Ikemen! That's right, he's talking to Ikemen Jiro. He's telling him where he was. As you know, Ikemen Jiro is calling himself Kuroshio, Tokyo, Japan. He was nowhere to be found. I'm sure we're going to see Tonsho and Watanabe team up to take on Ikemen and, of course, Tachibana. Now, our next match, we had a very interesting trios match. We have Tetsuya Isushi, Shuji Ishikawa making his debut after leaving All Japan Pro Wrestling, and Minoru Tanaka. They take on Riki Akitaka and the members of BGI, Keishi Sato, and Hartley Jackson. I thought this match was going to be very impressive. Not to mention Hartley Jackson Ishikawa throwing a bit of that powerhouse move. It was awesome. However, it was Ishikawa that applied the pile driver on Sato. 1, 2, 3. It was over right from there. Next match, we have Shuji taking on Kuma Arashi. If you guys never seen, this guy is a big dude that I've seen on All Japan and also recently in Ganbare Pro and other locations. Oh yeah, in PP Tokyo. Oh man, this one was a very tough battle for Shuji. I mean, Kuma, he is a big dude. Like, not muscular, but more like big for his size, but move agile when he has to. But Shuji suffered the fate of the senton bomb by Kuma, and blamo, it was over from there. Now, our next match, we have a interesting tag team match. We have, make that a 6-man tag team match. We have Issei Onizuka from the Yans family teaming up with members from Strong Arts. Takehiro Yumamara and Shima. Now, remember, if you guys know this, Onizuka used to be a member of Strong Arts. Now, I don't know exactly what happened, like why he was no longer with Strong Arts, but he had a bad feeling. But he was defending Yamamura from Kaito Ishida from whatever he was planning to do. But they take on the members of BGI, most specifically, well, of course, Kotaro Suzuki and Kaito Ishida, and also an outsider, Ayato Yoshida. I thought this match was pretty good. Not to mention, Ishida, who's proven that he is a total badass. He thinks that everything it must be under the BGI control. But however, he did apply the suplex on Yumamara to pick up the win. Now, I normally don't do this type of thing during a GLEAT event, but they made some interesting announcements for their upcoming events. Of course, they announced, well, I don't know when G Pro Wrestling 70 is going to take place, but it hopefully happens by the end of this month. But they did announce that they will be returning to Shinjuku Face on the 4th of April for G Pro Wrestling's version 71. Strong Hearts will have a produced show on the 14th of April. I'm so excited about that. They will have a Lidet UWF version 4 event on the 17th of April in Shinjuku Face. There's going to be a GLEAT house show, so that means it's not going to be on YouTube. What a bummer. But they did announce for GLEAT version X for Access on the 9th of June, and of course GLEAT G version 9 on March 13th. But they even announced a foreign wrestler making his presence, and that is none other than Young, Dumb and Broke and the current JCW World Champion Jordan Oliver. So I'm excited for that. Now moving on. Our next match is a tag team. We have the Yans family, more specifically Yusuke Kodama and Takanori Ito. They take on Bulk Orchestra's Tomaji Soy and Ruchi Kawakami. Now, practically the match was pretty interesting as well. I was like, basically, I'm like Kawakami and So are really are in sync. Like they felt like they can sync together, and I think that shows like why Bulk Ultras are the self-proclaimed number one faction within GLEAT, and I think that plays out pretty well. But unfortunately, it was of course a lariat by So onto Kodama that allowed Bulk Orchestra to pick up the win. Now, our main event, we have Strong Hearts, the debut of Seki Yoshioka. He teams with El Lindaman and T-Hawk to take on Bulk Orchestra's um, Kazuma Sakamoto, Quiet Storm, and Hayato Tamura. I have to say there was some great moments. I have to say for Yoshioka, making his way to GLEAT has finally changed his perspective. He feels like he has evolved even further. Now, I don't know what he's been doing since the time he left, all the way to the time he made his debut, but he looks fantastic. And he showed a brand new skill, but he picked up the win when he applied like a spinning flying kick onto Sakamoto to pick up the win. So I have to say it gave a good start for Strong Hearts to win. However, as you know, Bulk Orchestra do as well. So we probably will see the clash between two of the older factions within GLEAT. So I think that's pretty much it right now. What we have for GLEAT. Let's move on with AEW Rampage. Okay, AEW Rampage. It begins with Private Party versus Top Flight. Now, remember, this is not the first time that these two teams entangled with each other. Last time they confronted each other was a while back. Of course, Private Party picked up the win, and everybody saw exactly what it was. Martin Quinn used of course, the rope to the advantage. However, Mark doesn't see it that way. He just thought maybe it was how do I say I don't know exactly what's the word you can call it, but that's not what Top Flight thinks happened. So they escalated to that. So the obvious question we tell when we think of this type of match: will Lightning strike twice? That's the one thing. However, I have to say that maybe Top Flight had learned their lesson the last time with Private Party, because it was Dante Martin who picked up the win when he took out Mark Quinn with his finisher. I don't know what they call it, but it was very effective to pick up the win to Top Flight. They even extended their hands, but Private Party just bolted out of there. Now, during an interview with Renee Paquette, Sammy Guevara is back. He's medically cleared, but he's not happy with everything that happens. Now, yes, they did not win the tag team titles, but Much like this, Sammy felt that they stole food away from him and his family. So basically, that kind of pissed him off. So he's now declaring the hunt for the Don Callis family for everything they just caused on that match for Battle of the Belts. So, but Don Callis does actually responded. He thinks that Sammy's a hypocrite and all that. We all know who's the real hypocrite, Don Callis. But of course, Hobbs says, "You think you're the only one who knows what's that like? I had people to come after me." So he's well prepared. But the real question is how Sammy's going to do it. I guess we just gotta wait and see. Now, we do see the dickwads. I'm referring to Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, and Jay Lethal once again with their usual shenanigans. However, recently Jay Lethal has been feeling that things are not going exactly their way. But Jeff Jarrett feels like they have to go back to being the same, um, you know, piss off people. The ones that cause the mess. That's the thing. But however, Jay Lethal, I don't know. He feels like everything they did in that matter did not do any well. But the real question does tell: what will Jay Lethal do now? Well, we just gotta wait and see. Now we do get an AEW World Tag Team Eliminator match. We have Big Bill and Ricky Starks taking on Dark Orders of Alex Reynolds and John Silver, along with Evil Uno at the corner. But in the commentary desk, we have Darby Allin there, who's watching this. Now, of course, they gave insight to Darby, asking him, "Does Ricky respect a Sting?" But Darby thinks he's a fool of it. But however, of course, Ricky Starks and Big Bill will notice that Darby Allin is there. They're trying to, I don't know, they think that he's trying to antagonize him. No, he just wants to see what they're all about. However, of course, Evil Uno was going to get involved in this match, but it did not do anybody any favors. But it was the Rochambeau by Ricky Starks that finished off Silver in order to ensure they will never get a title shot. However, of course, in the post match, they were going to look at him, but Darby was already well prepared with a skateboard in hand. So we will see what happens. Don't forget, this coming Wednesday, Sting and Darby Allin will challenge for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Now, we have Willow Nightingale taking on Queen Aminata. Now, as you know, Stokely Hathaway has been stirring up the pot between both Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. It seems like Chris Statlander put him in his place, decided, okay, if you want to help me out, then you help Willow Nightingale, but you gotta be nice. So he has to swallow his pride or bite his lip, however he wants to do it. But I have to say, it was a pretty good match, not to mention, even though Queen Aminata, um, seeing her, I'm really happy that she's there. Even though she lost, she is one hell of a wrestler. But it was, of course, Willow with the Dr. Bomb. It was over right from there. Now, we do see Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. As you know, the last couple of weeks they've been dealing with, of course, Roderick Strong and the other members of the Undisputed Era. They know that they're going to be, how do I say, get their party crashed on. So they're like, 1, 2, 3. What happened? And they showed up in the other side. So Orange Cassidy suggested, how about we just have a match, okay? You guys against us. So, but however, uh, Chuck Taylor is not medically cleared. So basically, it's going to be a 3-on-3. And that's going to be next week. Now, our next interview, we see Willow, Chris, and Stokely, as you know, a really good start. However, the Outcasts jump into the party. That crazy nut job, Harley Cameron, actually bite off the hand of Stokely Hathaway. He better get a technical shot. I don't know where Harley Cameron's been doing, but yes. But seems things are not going the Outcasts' way because that kind of sets it up. So we'll see what happens until then. However, our main event, we have Daddy Magic Matt Menard, Cool Hands Angela Parker, Matt Sydal, and Christopher Daniels taking on the guys from CML. We have Mystico Volador Jr., Hechicito, and of course Mascara Dorada. Now, as you guys remember, the guys from CMLL attacked John Moxley. These 4 individuals came out because they did not like what was going on. So you would say that this is more of a preview before each member of the BCC will have to deal with them. Now, each of the CMLL girls are pretty amazing. You do have Mystico and Mascara Dorada. They do have the high flying aspect. Volador does have a aspect as a high flyer, but he can take it to the ground. Something similar that we have seen with Will Ospreay. But if anybody who knows more about technical wrestling, that is Hechicito. He's the one that he will face Bryan Danielson at Collision. So I thought the match was really fantastic. But however, it was Hechicito who picked up the win when he pinned Bryan Danielson. Or Christopher Daniels. This is a direct message for their opponents coming up, and I think we're all excited to see how this one rolls up. So I think that's pretty much it with AEW Rampage. Let's move on with NXT Level Up. Okay, so who levels up on this latest episode of NXT Level Up? Let's find out, folks. So our first match, it features Hank Walker and Tank Ledger taking on Tyson DuPont and what's his name? Tyreek Igwe. Now, keep in mind, of course, we have these 2 teams are fantastic, but however, we know that they have a lot of potential on both sides. But I often say that Hank and Tank are a good team that should definitely make more of themselves, expose themselves furthermore to maybe one day proceed for the NXT tag team titles. But of course, their cohesion has been very strong. Even though DuPont and Igwe have been cohesive as well, but I feel like Tank and Walker have a bit of the more energy to pick up the win. But it was a combination called the Collision Course that took out Igwe and allowing for Tank Ledger to pick up the pinfall, and boom, just like that, Hank and Tank win the day. Now, we do go to an interview with Brooks Jensen. As you know, Brooks Jensen is now on his own. Finley, you know where she's at now. You know where, of course, Josh Briggs is at. But now he has to focus on Dante Chen. He did say that he respects Chen and he said he's a fantastic wrestler, but he is standing in his way. So basically, he's not threatening him. He's telling him that right now he needs to step up his game as a singles competitor, which is, of course, very interesting to know about. Now, we move on to our next match. We have women's singles action: Blair Davenport versus Carly Bright. You can say this match, you can call it a squash match if you want, but I have to say Carly Bright did stood up firm against someone like Blair Davenport. But however, Blair Davenport being the most dangerous competitor we know she is, she was able to pick up the victory with a knee strike, giving her the win. But it's only a matter of time when she decides to make her way back into the NXT Women's title conversation. Now, our main event, Brooks Jensen versus Dante Chen. Now, this is where, of course, Brooks Jensen has to prove himself even further, since he ended things with Fallon Henley and Josh Briggs in the good terms. So, however, he has to contend with Dante Chen, who is a fantastic wrestler. We've seen what Dante Chen can do. I mean, he is someone we can definitely get behind. But however, Brooks Jensen, we're gonna see how hungry he is. And I think he really proved that in this match because he's stepping up his game, going solo, and he picked up an impressive win when he did a knee drop to Dante Chen to pick up the win. So we'll see how things will progress with them from here on out. I think that's pretty much it with NXT Level Up and everything else. I believe it's time to move on with news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's talk about the promotions on their upcoming events taking place. As you know, we have GCW, so 2 things have been announced. As you know, for this coming weekend, for feels no ways on the 4th of February, they announced that we're going to have Mance Warner taking on Bodie Young Prodigy. I feel sorry for Bodie because I think Mance Warner is about to murder him. And excellent news for all you Yoshi fans out there. Maki Ito will be making her return to GCW. So she's already been booked for March. She'll be in St. Louis on the 1st of March, Indianapolis on the 2nd of March, and of course, Atlantic City on the 9th and 10th of March. Now moving on. As you know, Megan Bain makes her debut with the Spanish promotion RCW Spain for March Madness on the 23rd of March. Well, this time they announced another Yoshi wrestler that we all familiarize. Konami makes her debut. I'm so excited for Konami to be there. Now, as you know, CML always has their ladies, the women's division, go to Japan. As you know, they have their upcoming show called Ladyring Lucha Fest that will take place as well. A tag match have been announced. Nanase and Rhythm, they take on Bani Oikawa and Chi Chi. So that's going to be a real fun match. Now, as you guys remember, there was a collaboration that has been announced between both West Coast Pro and United Wrestling Network for the Delirious show to take on uh, later on in March. They announced Sandra Moon versus Zara Zakir. Zakir, I think, hopefully I pronounced it right. But yes, so that'll be happening as well. Now, if you guys remember clearly, there is a brand new an alliance between promotions from all over from Asia, more specifically Japan, China, Taiwan, um, Thailand, and Singapore. Well, some stars from New Japan will be making their debut with Set Up Pro Wrestling in Thailand, and those wrestlers are none other than El Phantasmo and of course Zack Sabre Jr. So this show will take place on the 24th of March. I'm so excited. If you guys never seen Setup, this promotion from Thailand, go on YouTube and find it. It's called Setup Thailand Pro Wrestling. So check that out. Now, as you know, more names have been added for their upcoming Kitsune Women's Wrestling show, Kampai, on the 24th of March. They announced a wrestler who is a local native of Tijuana, Mexico, right across from where I live in San Diego, named, ironically, Kitsune. What are the chances are? So, if any of my subscribers are from either Tijuana or from here in San Diego, know who she is, you should go get your tickets now. They even announced for Sandra Moon that will be there as well as well. Moving on. Now, as you know, Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling will be in Philadelphia during WrestleMania week. They announced for Vert Vixen to participate in that particular show. I'm so excited and very happy to hear about that. Now, let's talk about certain developments. As you may know, Jacob Fatu is now officially a free agent. So he is no longer employed with Major League Wrestling. I know there's a lot of people that would say, I want to see him in WWE, others in Impact Wrestling, TNA, others in AEW. We just don't know because apparently there's been some factors talking about the reasons he's not involved. There's an arrest record. I don't know what. I know WWE have a strong policy towards that, but I don't know about the other ones. So that's a good question. But where do you guys would like to see Jacob Fatu? You guys leave me a comment down below. Now, excellent news. As you know, we're close to the next pay-per-view by Stardom, Super Fight. Well, it was announced that Natsupoi, after she's been got out for a while due to an injury, will be joining the commentary team for this particular event, just in time to see her best friend Tam Nakano makes her return, and her other friend and tag partner Sayuri Noida make her first title defense against Starlight Kid. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, speaking of it, as you know, the time difference from here in the US and Japan is different. As we speak, Tam Nakano is participating in the Setsubun event, and she's not alone. She reunited with her teammate and someone we haven't seen for a while in the Cosmic Angels. We're talking about Unagi Sayaka. Yes, it's great to see those two. If you guys don't know what this Setsubun event is, where they're throwing some sort of stuff to like beans or rice or whatever it is to the fans who are there. But they're not alone. There are other people there too. Even we have Tatsumi Fujinami, and of course Jun and Ri, the Saito brothers. They're also there too. So it's great to see them. I'm sure that many people are questioning will Unagi will be on the be appearing on the fourth just as a guest. I don't know, but it would be interesting because it would strike a nerve to the heart of Mina Shirakawa. But that's another conversation for another time. So I think that's pretty much it with our news updates. So let's just call it a day. Okay, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Now, coming up, we do have AEW Collision. We know there's going to be there's another Choco Pro show that just took place. However, we know that there is going to be a GCW event taking place as soon as this happened. However, I will not be doing that maybe until possibly Monday because I want to put that one and another together. That depends on the day how it goes. So we'll see where that leads us from here on out. But I'm way behind on 4 events from Pro Wrestling Noah. That is something I am clear at. Also with All Japan Pro Wrestling. So from here on out, we'll just go how it is. But AEW Collision and Choco Pro are my top priority as well. But we'll see where that leads us from here on out. So I'll hope to see you guys on the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day.